morning, everyone. Thank you for coming, and welcome to the opening of our Rockdale Avenue branch this morning. I'd like to introduce some board members that are here with us today. First, Dennis Kelly, former president of Bristol County Savings, and Lou Rashadi, board member. And with that, I will turn it over to our president and CEO, Pat Murray.
Thank you, Dennis, and what a day. I was talking to Roy Nascimento earlier, and we said, this is definitely a Chamber of Commerce day. Blue sky, sun's out, not a cloud in the sky. So, Roy, thank you very, very much. We are extremely proud to be here this morning to announce the opening of two additional branches here in the city of New Bedford. In the course of the stroke of one pen, when we purchased 4 branches from Admiral's Bank a week and a half ago, we have now tripled our size in the city of New Bedford, and we're extremely proud of that. A lot of hard work has gone into this, and there's a lot of thank yous and a lot of introductions we're going to make this morning. But first of all, I would like to thank Mayor Jon Mitchell and his administration for the business-friendly and making it so easy for us to be welcomed here and to do business in the city of New Bedford. So, Mayor, thank you very, very much. Quite a few thank yous that need to go out today, and there's quite a few introductions as well. But the thank you that I want to give out the most is to the new customers of Bristol County Savings Bank here at our Rockdale location, our new Rockdale location, and also at our new Acushnet Avenue location. 4,500 new customers came on board with Bristol County Savings Bank a week and a half ago. And I know for many of them, this is the 4th bank that they've been with in the last 4 years. Earlier, I was talking to a brand new customer here at Rockdale Avenue, and I don't think he was more than 25 years old, and he told me that this is the 3rd time that he's been with a bank at this very location. And I guarantee to him that it would be the last. And I'm here to make that commitment this morning. We have a saying, or actually, it's pretty much a saying at Bristol County Savings Bank, that once you bank with us, you will never leave. And we live by that motto every single day. And that's a very, very easy thing to say, because Bristol County Savings Bank has been around since 1846. It's going on 167 years. Now, we've only been down here on the South Coast for the last 7 or 8 years, but I can tell you, with our office in Dartmouth and our 3 new offices here in the city of New Bedford, and we will be opening a new office just north of here in East Freetown in a matter of weeks, that we are definitely committed to the city, and we are definitely committed to the South Coast. We are the largest bank headquartered in Bristol County. And as our vision statement says, we want to be Bristol County's financial institution. And with the introduction of 2 more branches here in the city of New Bedford, with offices in Fall River, with offices in Attleboro, and offices in Taunton, we now have branch facilities or banking facilities in every city in Bristol County. So we can really now live up to our name of Bristol County Savings Bank. At Bristol County Savings Bank, it's all about people. And there's quite a few people here today. And believe me, there's a lot of introductions coming up, so bear with me. But when we talk about people and we talk about Bristol County Savings Bank, it's really the people that are first and foremost. So when you come to our office here to apply for a residential mortgage loan, to look for a commercial loan, to look for an automobile loan, whether it's to make a deposit, and every once in a while to make a withdrawal, or to come down to look for help with your investments. It's all about the people here, and you're going to be introduced to those people in a few minutes. But I have a few introductions before that. I would really like to introduce the executive management team at Bristol County Savings Bank that helped me make this happen every single day. And with us this morning is our Chief Operating Officer, Julie Chapman. Julie. Our Chief Financial Officer, Dennis Leahy. like to thank the fire department for that warm welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Ahead of our financial advisory services, Paul Linehan. Executive Vice President with Community Relations, Michelle Roberts. And I'll wait to introduce Lenny in a minute because there's a few other people here today. Mr. Cody introduced our members of the Board of Directors here, but we also have a member of our corporators. We have 100 corporators. 25 of them are now right here from the South Coast. And we have one of the corporators here this morning. Corporators of a mutual bank like ours have really two main roles. Number one, they serve as our overall corporate governance, but number two, and just as important, if not more important, they serve as our eyes and ears in the communities that we serve. With us this morning is the managing partner of Santos & Santos, Corrine Santos. At this point, I'd like to turn the microphone over to the number two person at the bank, First Executive Vice President and our senior lender, Len Sullivan.
Thank you very much, Pat, and thank you all for coming today. What a beautiful day to come to New Bedford. Sun's shining, skies are blue, and we're excited to be here. Since opening on Ashley Boulevard a few years ago, we've been looking to expand in the New Bedford area. And the mayor knows that. We've talked to him on a number of occasions about different branches in the city. We were very fortunate when Admirals called us and said, would you like to look at our branches and potentially buy them? We were thrilled because this gives us a real presence in New Bedford. As Pat said, we've tripled our size here. We are in all different aspects of the city now, from the north end to the south end, and we're really happy to be here. We've found the South Coast region to be very supportive of not only the bank, but of its people. We are firmly committed to all of the city politicians, the nonprofits in the city, and are looking to become more active as lenders in the city. This is a great opportunity for us, and we are truly want to be committed down here. As you know, and the mayor has been with us on a number of occasions, we've been giving financial support to a lot of nonprofits in the city, and now we've added about 20 new employees. So we're really going to be committed in many of your nonprofit groups now. We offered, as I think all of you know, all of the Admiral employees opportunities to come to work at Bristol County Savings Bank. We are very fortunate, and we are pleased to say that they all accepted employment with us, and we're happy to have them on board. In addition to that, we've put a team together which will help them in their new roles. We have a team of commercial lenders as well as a team of residential lenders to help the customers of your bank to be more supportive in the community and to be more supportive of their needs by now offering commercial loans, which I know Admirals did not have, and in addition to that, offering residential and installment loans. With all that said, I would like to introduce all the key players which will be down in this area. First off, in the branch, Vivian Banville. Vivian, just raise your hand. Will be our new branch manager. Gabriel Santos. Assistant branch manager, Christina Verissimo. Our head teller. So with all that said, anyone in the audience who needs to open up a deposit account, those are the three people you need to see, and you can walk right in when I'm done speaking. Just in support of them also, we have Pat Cochran here, who's the Vice President of Retail Banking, who's in charge of the South Coast region, and Jean Purrier, she's the Vice President of Government Finance, is also here. The lending team we put together to support the new branches include Pete Selly, Senior Vice President of the South Coast region, Jack Silva, Commercial Lender and Vice President, Andy Springer, who unfortunately is in Paris today and couldn't be here. You know, Paris, New Bedford, you know, his loss. And last up, Valerie Lacasse, who's going to be doing business development down here. Our residential team will consist of Nelson Braga, Senior Vice President in Residential Lending, and Pam McLean, who's in the back, mortgage originator. I thank you very much, and I think you can see by the number of employees we have actively working in the New Bedford area now and our continued financial support, you'll see our commitment to the city continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Lenny. I mentioned before that we are a community bank. We are also a mutual bank. And what does that mean? It means that we don't have stockholders per se. So when we look at our bottom line and we try to make a profit every year to keep our capital strong, that is the number 3 on the list of people, product and service, and then profitability. But when we take a look at who Bristol County Savings Bank is and where should we be giving our commitment and our dollars back to, we really look to the community as our stockholder, as our stakeholder. And as Lenny mentioned, we formed a charitable foundation back in 1996. Since that time, we are approaching $10 million that our charitable foundation has given out to local nonprofits, including $2 million here to the South Coast alone. To do that, you need great partners. And one of the partners that has been welcoming ever since we first started thinking about coming down to the New Bedford was the city. And especially under the administration of Jon Mitchell over the last 2 years at this point, that we've truly had a true partnership. And Jon has been instrumental with helping us secure these 2 branches that we now have in the New Bedford. But more importantly, he has also been instrumental to helping us give back to the communities where we all live, work, and profit from. So we believe as a good community citizen, our profits, or a portion of our profits, need to be given back to those communities that we serve. Again, the mayor and his staff have been extremely helpful to help us with that mission, and we truly consider them to be a partner of Bristol County Savings Bank. With that, I'd like to introduce Mayor Jon Mitchell.
Well, thank you, everybody. This is a Chamber of Commerce day, so Roy, thank you emphatically. This is terrific. I enjoy doing ribbon cuttings. I get to do them every once in a while for small businesses and for even larger businesses. But ribbon cuttings for financial institutions are a little different. Banks aren't just another small business or mid-sized business in the case of Bristol County. Banks play an intimate role in making local economies go. They play a very personal role in people's lives. People vest their life savings with small banks because the level of trust that is required to attract deposits is very high, and you need a counterparty. Depositors need somebody they can rely on to take care of their money, and when needed, to loan them money to do all the things they want to do, whether it's to start a new business, whether it's to buy a home, whether it's to finance a college education. These are all things that are deeply personal to our citizens, and they need partners like Bristol County Savings Bank to make it happen. What I find very interesting here is that this is, on a bigger scale, really a mark of the reassertion of small banks into American communities like New Bedford. We're almost 5 years removed from the Lehman Brothers meltdown and all the downward spiral that the financial markets took in 2008 and the aftermath. And the folks who were standing after that were small community banks who were closer to depositors, who weren't willing to refused to take unreasonable risks with people's money. And again, time and time again, over the course of American history, it's been the small banks that have stood up for communities. If you go, for instance, here in New Bedford this is one of my favorite plaques, and somewhat sad in a sense, in the entire city. You go into the lobby of the Y, and there's a plaque that has all the benefactors who financed the construction of the new YMCA back in the early 70s, and a lot of those businesses are gone. A lot of them were mills, and a lot of them were mostly mills, but also smaller banks. A lot of those banks are not with us anymore. In fact, just about all of them aren't. But Bristol County is really, in a way, stepping into a void that has existed really since the closing of Compass Bank here, being a true community partner in the best tradition of small banks in America. And we are, I think, far better off for it. Through the leadership of Pat and Dennis before him, and Dennis Cody on the board, Bristol County Savings Bank has made an earnest commitment to the life of the community, not just in advertising and making itself known and visible and on prominent streets like Rockdale Avenue and Acushnet Avenue, but and Ashley Boulevard, but also committing itself faithfully to community groups that raise the quality of life here. They really are essential to New Bedford and what we do here. And when Pat says that there's been an enormous commitment, a financial commitment to the community, take him at his word. He's right. The commitment is real. It's not PR. Most recently, it's been happening since I got into office, and most recently it happened with the Zyterian when I asked Pat, I said, look, we need some help getting the Zyterian back on better footing so that it can continue to play a central role in the revitalization of downtown and be an attraction for the entire region. And without skipping a beat, and Michelle was there with him, he said, yeah, absolutely, just let me know what I can do. I mean, that's the kind of commitment that we have from this bank. And Pat, we're really grateful for that. And folks in New Bedford should know that when it comes to trusting their money to an institution, that you guys are good to your word, and that goes a long way in the business. So I want to thank you. There are lots of folks who I'd love to thank in the audience. Most of you have been recognized, but over time I've met so many times with Lenny and Jack, Michelle, Peter, and many others from the bank, and most of it is about what they can possibly do for the city, and I really do appreciate that generosity and that commitment to traditional banking values. It sounds hokey, but it goes a long way to building community here. I want to thank David Alves, who's going to come up in a second. I'll introduce David, as well as Joe Lopes and other members of the City Council who have been steadfast in their support for community banks, not just Bristol County, but others who have, again, the City Council recognized that they have stepped up big time for New Bedford. I want to also recognize my financial team here. Renee Fernandez-Abbott, our treasurer, and Ari Sky, our CFO, are both here today. They know and they recognize the need that Bristol County fills in our community, and so that's why they're here today. But once again, Pat, I really do appreciate all that you guys have done, and I really look forward to the continued partnership that we've had over the last year and a half or so. I think this is a great start, not quite the start, but this is the great next step, and there are many great next steps to come. Thank you very much. And let me call up David Alves and Joe Lopes from the City Council. Come on up, guys. David, do you have a proclamation?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. É um prazer de estar aqui para celebrar abrir Oh no, that's the one I've used. That's the Portuguese speech I used the last 4 times I was here. But Dennis and Pat have assured me that I no longer have to write this speech in Portuguese, nor do I have to write another opening speech for this bank. This is the last time we'll be here, right? All right. All joking aside, and I also want to, in jest, but I wanted just to note to the Portuguese community, as you heard from both the chairman and from the bank president, the bank has changed names, but the commitment to the community, to the greater New Bedford community, both the English community, the Portuguese community, the Cape Verdean community, remains the same, if anything, is reinforced. They've maintained all of the Portuguese-speaking staff from before. They've changed the color of the bank, but they haven't changed the integrity of the bank. In fact, if anything, they've made it more of our local bank. We've got people that live in the area working at this bank, people who are both bilingual working at this bank. So I want to put not only the Portuguese community at rest, but the entire New Bedford community. It is such a pleasure to be here as a city councilor for a number of years in the city of Bedford, I have had the opportunity to go to more bank openings than both these gentlemen combined. And it's always a pleasure. And I was at the opening of your bank up on Ashley Boulevard. At one time, I thought that was going to become Bankers Row for the city of New Bedford, with a number of banks that are up there, you being part of that. But I'm so happy to see that you've taken over a bank that's been here for a number of years, but you've taken it over with a commitment that we haven't seen in a number of years, a commitment from a local bank, Bristol County, a regional bank here, who's saying to New Bedford, we see that New Bedford's on the move. We're talking about offshore windmills, we're talking about casinos, we're talking about rail. But New Bedford, I think, is talking, and people are listening about what we have to offer. And I was so impressed the bank has recognized the potential for the city of New Bedford and not only wanted to support our growth, but wanted to be part of our growth. And that's the reason I came down today. I was so happy to meet not only the board chairman and the president of the bank again, but an opportunity to see growth of Bristol County Savings. I'm enthusiastic about it. I wanted to say on behalf of my colleagues, many who could not be here today because of their work schedules. I have a little bit more flexibility in my schedule as the owner of a real estate company, but I talked to Pat, who tells me that their commitment to home loans is one of your top commitments. So I'm hoping that I'll not only have the opportunity to visit as a personal investor, to visit as a city councilor, but to visit as a realtor when we come to sign home loans in Bristol County for growth in the city of New Bedford. My pleasure to be. I have a citation, but before I read that, I'd like to introduce the counselor from this ward, Joe Lopes, who is not only the counselor and recognizes the commitment, but also a former banker himself and understands what a commitment like that means to a facility like Bristol County Savings and means to our community. Joe, it's a pleasure to have you with us this
Thank you,
morning.
Dave. You know, I wasn't supposed to be here because I was supposed to be in Brockton dealing with a customer, because even though I left banking, I still do finance. I just do it a little differently now. And when I got here, I was talking to Peter. I said, it's great to have a community bank as an anchor in the community. And that's what this is. You know, I've seen, as Dave, you know, changes from, this is the fourth bank, and Peter said, no, we're here to stay. And that's what I want to hear. And I've known Peter for a long time, and Jack and Val, and they're all committed to the city. And that's what you want. You know, both Lou and Pat was saying commitment. And that's what when I heard, I was ecstatic to hear that. Committed to the city and to its residents. And when I was inside talking to one of the employees, she lives in the neighborhood. And you don't see that a lot of times. She understands what it's like to be from the neighborhood because she lives in the neighborhood. And that's what you want for employees. They're dedicated to the community that they live in, and that's what this bank is bringing to the area. So on behalf of all the residents of Ward 6, it might be a chamber day, but we're in the best part of the city because it's, you know, all the beaches. Thank you for being an anchor in our community. Thank you.
The reason I get invited to all the banks is that I'm a counselor at large, so I have to say that everywhere. But I enjoy saying that because New Bedford is such a great city. Pat, Mr. Murray, if you mind coming over on behalf of the City Council of New Bedford and the City of New Bedford, we have an official resolution that I hope you will put up on your wall if you find a location, just to symbolize to your bank and to the community that the city is not only pleased to have you here, but we recognize the impact you're making. And it's an official resolution. Be it hereby known to all that the City Council of New Bedford, Massachusetts hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Bristol County Savings Bank in recognition of the celebration of the opening of your newest branch offices in the city of New Bedford. The entire citizenry extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses hope for good fortune, continued good fortune. Given the 17th day of April, 2013, signed by the Council President, Bruce Duart, Councilor at Large Dave Alves, Councilor for this ward, Joe Lopes, and given with the sincerest congratulations to the City Council and Mayor Mitchell as well. On behalf of the city, congratulations and welcome to your new home.
That concludes the formal part of our presentation this morning. We are going to have a ceremonial ribbon cutting here in a few minutes, but I'd also like to just take this opportunity, as I said when I first came up, is to say thank you to the citizens of the great city of New Bedford, and primarily to our customers. We are committed to you, and just to show that commitment, my telephone number is 508-828-5855. 5303. We are transparent at Bristol County Savings Bank. We are open from the top down. Please do not hesitate to call me with any questions or any issues you have with Bristol County Savings Bank. That is the commitment that we have to you and to the city of New Bedford. So once again, thank you very much to everybody that came out this morning. We really appreciate it, and we are so glad to be here.
Where's the hotel? France Hotel. Is that one? Yeah, you go this way. Yes.